Welcome back, guys. Little something to munch on for a snack or a meal. We are making chicken fried steak bites. I never got the chicken fried part, but I kind of do because you do it the same way you would fry up chicken. Well, today we're using beef. Let's get our stuff out and get to it. Oh, and stick around to the end because we're going to make some gravy to go along with this. You can see a little bit of it in the picture. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a comment, thumbs up below. That helps the algorithm and that helps me. I'd really appreciate it. Our main ingredient is beef. Now, you could use a piece of beef. I had stewing beef, and that's what we're going to use. It's already chopped up into bite-sized pieces. We're going to need some milk, about a cup of flour, some butter, a couple eggs, smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of salt and pepper. That should be everything we need for this dish. So first off, I get my two pans out because we're going to dredge the meat. Our first pan, we're going to take our eggs and crack them both into the pan. Now I know from doing this a few times, it's not quite enough, so we need a little bit of milk, a good splash. And that's going to thin out the eggs, but it's also going to give me a little more to play with. There we go, all nice and mixed. Put that over and bring out our second pan. Into it goes our flour for frying, of course. And to that, we got to spice it up, so that's where teaspoon each smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of pepper. And you can do as much or as little as you want. I mean, you want to put a couple teaspoons in, sure, it might be a little spicier, but it'll still work out beautiful. Then we're just going to mix all this together, and we're good to go. Our meat's ready to go. I've got the frying pan warming up. So, of course, the idea is we kind of douse it in the egg wash. Put it into our flour and just make sure everything's coated. Doesn't have to be a thick coat, but you want it coated. And I'm just going to do a batch so I can bring it over to the stove. Kind of like that, making sure everything's covered. Let's go over to the stove. Here's our frying pan, a little bit of oil. And we're just going to get all the meat into the pan. And you want to turn around a few times. When you're done, you should end up with something like that. Beautiful. I'm putting a little extra oil in there, a little more than I wanted to be honest, for the second batch. In it goes, same as the first batch. Off the stove. But wait, we got to make us some gravy. 2 tablespoons of butter we put into the pan. That'll get up all the good stuff. A couple tablespoons of flour. So we let it cook for a minute or so, then we start adding our milk. And now we need 2 cups of milk. And slowly mix, 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 mix. Let it all kind of combine. And we're going to bring this up to a boil while we keep mixing it. We're also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper just to give it a little extra taste. And that, of course, is to whatever you want. So we mix, mix, mix. See how it's starting to thicken up? That's what we're looking for. It's starting to boil now. And you can tell it's thick because look what happens when I push the spatula around. So here's our steak bites on a plate. I got a little bowl out for our gravy. We're going to pour some ever so carefully into that bowl. Now you could either do this or drizzle it onto the steak bites. Either or. I think I like the dunking part better, but maybe you don't. And there we are, steak bites. Chicken fried steak bites. I gotta try one. Dip it in the gravy. And hey, pretty good. You may want to try this. It's yummy.
Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.